This is a new doctor making $225,000. Okay. So this doctor just gets done with residency and pays their income tax and tax Social Security at 76,000. They got to pay that. Can't avoid it. They have 200 grand in student loans, which is less than I had, but let's just say they're on a 10-year repayment plan. They're paying $36,000 a year because they don't know much about student loans. They don't know about income-driven repayment. They just do the default government plan. They buy $500,000 home and they don't put anything down. They get a doctor mortgage because they have no money saved. And they're paying about $43,000 a year or so in their housing payment. Every house needs something throughout the year. So we pegged out around $8,000 a year. They pay about $7,000 in utilities. They bought a $50,000 car right out of residency because the place approved them for it at the dealership. And they pay 11 grand a year in their car payment. It's an expensive car, so they have expensive insurance, $4,000. They go on a $10,000 vacation at least once a year. They eat out about $100 a week with their family or even just themselves, $6,000 right there. And private school tuition for their kids, they spend about $26,000. That would be inexpensive, at least where I live. So taking this example, which yours looks different, everyone's housing's different, their vacations or their things that they want are different. But in this example, this doctor who's making $225,000 after their expenses, what they net is minus $2,100. So, I mean, this doesn't seem unreasonable, right? I mean, it doesn't seem unreasonable to buy a house or you have to pay back your loans. It doesn't seem unreasonable to buy a nice car or send your kids to private school. But my point of saying this is it still matters how you budget. So you probably can't have all of these things and continue to save and have financial success. I wanted to then okay, let's make a few small changes here, right? So going back again to this treadmill and this base, set of happiness is some of these things probably felt good afterwards, like the car, $50,000 car, the really nice house, or going on the vacation. But at least what we see again with the data is that does not lead to sustained or increased happiness. Those things eventually go back, you adapt, you're just chasing your tail. So kind of understanding that, what's a better balance for this doctor? Well, let's just give the same example. So this same doctor, same salary, but they put 20% towards retirement. That's before tax. So they pay less in tax. And their student loans, they decide to do income-driven repayment instead of a 10-year, which is less money per month. They only spend 18 grand a year on their student loans. They buy a $350,000 house instead of a $500,000 house. That's cheaper and less repairs because it's smaller, so less things to break. The utilities are less because it's a smaller home. Utilities are less, but they also decided to buy a used car. And they spend a lot less per year because it's a cheaper car. They have cheaper insurance. They go on a $4,000 vacation instead of the $10,000. They only spend, $50 a week, and they send their kids to public school. Not saying you have to do this. Not saying this is the right way and this is the wrong way. I'm just simply trying to give you an example, a tangible example of two doctors that you probably know someone similar to each of these and what that means at the end of the year on the income that they can bring home. So the first example, this doctor had minus $2,100. In this example, with a few small changes, still a nice house, still a vacation, still eating out, still got a car, they have, at least their net is $62,000. So it's a huge swing, right? Just with a few small tweaks here and there. And some of this might be applicable to you. Some of this might be applicable to people but these decisions, especially student loans and a house, are probably two of the biggest drivers in saving for retirement, three biggest drivers to this.